Huntington, West Virginia has a connection with trains. After all, the city is named after railroad magnate Collis P. Huntington, so it's only natural it hosts the largest and longest running model train show in the area. And there's almost an infinite variety of model trains on display at the show, from ones that fit in a box, to those that sit on a table, to those that nearly fill a room. The show is sponsored by the Appalachian Model Railroad Society and is financed by admission prices and vendors who rent space and sell model railroad gear and accessories. But for the children who attend, the fun is in seeing the several big train and track setups. And for the men setting up the displays, the fun is in seeing them through the eyes of those children.
Show is a lot of work, but it's fun to do because it's fun to see the people and watch the people and watch the kids' eyes and watch the kids wanting to grab the engines and all.
The show's for the kids. And to find a kid, can be under 12 and can be under 90. Okay, so I tell people that the train shows are for everybody. It brings kids inside of everybody. So come to the show, have a train show, have fun.
I love seeing the kids' reactions when we come to the show. I think it's pretty cool. It's a great feeling. It's one of the greatest enjoyments. You can ask any model railroader here that, and they'll tell you the same thing.
Model railroading itself has several different formats. Toy trains, for example, are fast with tight corners. But other setups actually replicate the railroaded experience, albeit on a fraction of the scale, with slower trains and wide sweeping curves. All the formats have all the bells and whistles. Terry Eads' toy train setup has nearly every accessory Lionel made. There's a sawmill, a milk car, an oil rig, a watchtower, a guard station, a coal motor. You get the idea. Even a dog and hydrant add comic relief.
I get a tremendous kick out of talking to the people who particularly just love with the nostalgia just overwhelms them when they see this old stuff. I'm in control of the world, I guess.
Kent Kuhn has built his own village and named it after one of his daughters with attractions from his life.
I spent a few years in Louisiana, and I just like the swamp. The ball field is named after my grandchildren, my grandsons, and I try to make it comical, a little bit comical.
The Kentington setup is owned by 6 friends. One of them, Steve Crace, says each brings different talents and interests to the project.
The guy that built Cass here, his favorite thing to do was build structures. And he scratch built all these structures. Me, I like the trains. I'm not so much on scenery, I'm not very good at it. But I like the trains, you know. I love painting them, decaling them, weathering them. That's the kind of stuff I like. So everybody that's in this group's got different taste.
And the businesses that line the track for the Appalachian Railroad Society display offer lots of opportunities to have a little fun.
This is Coster's Antiques. And if you look in the window, this gentleman right here is Jim Coster. And I took his picture sitting at the table at the club working. And I went home and then I printed it out and I made the building and I put him inside the building. So we have Coster's Antiques. We had another guy that liked to drink beer. So we had Ron's Microbrewery. So it's a way of kind of connecting and making it personalized.
And it's those surprising little added details that signal just how much effort is put into creating the realistic experience of some of the displays. I mean, take a look at these details replicating the country. A mail pouch tobacco barn, a garden, a swing set, a rock climber, farm animals, and wonderful fall colors.
We've got guys that are artists. It's an art. It is literally an art.
And then there are all kinds of cityscapes that almost look like a postcard from simpler times.
It's a labor of love. I mean, if you don't love it, you're not going to do it very long, that's for sure.
The setup for the show actually starts a couple of days in advance. The larger displays are brought in sections and then assembled.
Ooh, okay. We're way low on this side.
It's a process that takes hours and is very precise at times.
Of course, setting it up, we have to do all the alignment and plug all the wires in. You have to get the the structure underneath, the support legs all in the right position.
Snap, crackle, pop.
So it takes a good bit of time.
Putting them all up, getting them on their legs, getting all the electrical connections. And it takes us about 6 hours to get it set up, put together, make sure it's running.
But the effort has a payoff, inspiring a new generation of model railroaders. And these guys know how important that is. They started off young themselves.
My dad got me my first train when I was 12.
I got my first electric train when I was 9, and I got my first Lionel train when I was 10.
When I was like 2 years old, I was sitting down running a train.
My mother said my first steps were to the window at our house to watch a train go by. So there you go. I'm 60 years old now, still playing with trains.
And many of them credit that experience as youngsters with setting their eventual careers off on the right track.
I learned all about electricity, what ohms were, what amps were, volts, you know, those simple principles. I think that really motivated me to pursue a degree in engineering later on in life.
It was fascinating to me to be able to take the stuff apart, put it back together, and that's what got me going into engineering.
Here comes one. Do you see it?
You see the train?
You see it coming?
This was the 64th year of the show. 64 years of training children and everyone else in the joys of this hobby. Mr. Huntington would be proud. I'm Dan Hollis.